I'm a teacher. There's this phenomenon with teachers where we have ironclad immune systems while we are responsible for other people. And then on the first break of the school year, we get sick. The same thing happened when my husband started to get better. As he healed, just like a teacher with the first chance to rest, I got sick. Jake served in the Army for 11 years. He was 20 when he first deployed to Afghanistan, a deployment that lasted for 16 months. As a teacher, I know that research shows that the human brain doesn't fully develop until around the age of 25. So while his brain was still forming, the threads of war and combat became woven into the tapestry of his biology. When I was 8 months pregnant with our daughter, the three horsemen showed up: PTSD, anxiety, depression. Unable to feel, make eye contact, or get out of bed, he was a ghost in our home. The VA's main line of defense at the time was pills in the mail and therapists that quit every 6 months. His trigger was our growing child. Jake was beside fathers in their final moments, fathers who would never hug their children again. He believed himself unworthy of ever feeling the love of his own child. So as my belly grew, he disappeared into the dark corridors of his mind. By the time we had our son 3 years later, we were really in trouble. I'll never forget being in the throes of a rapid, unmedicated labor and Jake looking at the IV bag and saying, "We used to blow doors with those." I needed him so badly, and I felt so incredibly alone. The darkness came for me too. With both pregnancies, I sank into postpartum depression, overwhelming anxiety, hypervigilance, and intrusive thoughts. I was afraid to drive, afraid to leave the house, and consumed by a debilitating pressure to be the perfect mother in a very complicated situation. We had every reason to celebrate the beautiful life that we built, yet we were both incapable of joy. I was hanging on by weary threads in Zoloft. Our beautiful, healthy kids became amplifiers to Jake's guilt. His belief that if he had just run one op differently, maybe everybody's daddy and mommy could have come home. I strategized daily for how to protect my kids from his suicide. I would stop at home in between meetings so that I would be the one to find him. I would get home and I would leave my babies in the car until I saw him alive. Afraid to go to work, afraid to come home, I played defense and offense in my mind from the moment I woke until the moment I slept. I was sitting at a friend's kitchen table when she asked, "How is Jake?" And I finally had the bravery to answer honestly. Then she asked, "Have you ever considered psychedelics?" I had. I had read a lot about the effectiveness of psychedelics with combat vets. And I joked, "Yes, but I am not cool enough to know where to find them." That conversation gave me a flicker of hope. If the truth of this healing was reaching ordinary kitchen tables, maybe we could find a way to invite it into our families in a way that was safe and legal. In January of 2024, Jake did his first MDMA treatment. Our life became a stark before and after. In one treatment, he came back to the land of the living. He could look us in the eye. He could get out of bed. He started learning how to feel, all without a single prescription medication. Now, you'd think that would have been a magic wand for me, but as Jake got better, I got worse. As the pressures eased and the armor came off, what was underneath was resentful and forlorn and full of rage. I hated him for what I had been made to survive. And even more than I hated him, I hated myself for what I had become. My turning point came when I learned about secondary PTSD from a veteran spouse on a podcast. For the first time, I heard someone describe our family's pain, how loving someone through their wounds can wound you too. With this awareness, we signed up for a veterans couples retreat, but when we reached the airport, my anxiety was so bad, I couldn't get out of the car. I'm grateful every day that we figured out how to get me on that plane, because it was at that retreat that I met Allison Wilson and I learned about the Hope Project. In August of 2024, I met 6 other veteran spouses on a Hope Project retreat to Puerto Vallarta. These strong, beautiful, resilient women were all tortured by what survival had robbed them of, same as me. Together, we faced our darkness in sisterhood, placing our trust in the healers and the medicine. My journey with the medicine had nothing to do with Jake or our kids. It was all about me learning to love me. I came back from Mexico and I saw my own life in a new way. Nothing had changed. I had changed. I saw the bees and the butterflies and not just the weeds. I saw my kids' creativity and not just the mess. I saw Jake's steady love and not just my anger. I saw myself, the Jamie that had always been too much. Now she was just right. She was just enough. A writer, a leader, a warrior for others. She was made this way on purpose. Jake continued his healing and attended an HHP retreat to Peru to sit with ayahuasca. Today, those threads of war that are a part of his tapestry are his strength and not his demise. He walks with the wisdom of someone who fought and survived, not with the shame of being weighed down with loss and regret. He's a present, playful, and endlessly kind father and husband. I cannot imagine a world without him as our steady foundation. Tonight, I send my deepest gratitude to the donors who made our journeys possible. I don't know their names or their faces, but I pray that they can feel my love and know that they gave my children a mother and a father. In my work in education, when my colleagues and I push against a broken system, we fondly call ourselves angelic troublemakers. An angelic troublemaker is someone who challenges the status quo and advocates with love, disrupting injustice. It's no secret that what we are in here in support of tonight is not legal in the large majority of the United States. How ironic that our veterans and their families have to leave the country that they defended in order to heal. You all are angelic troublemakers tonight. Wear that term with a badge of honor. You are a movement. You refuse to stand down to a broken system. You refuse to stand down to injustice. You, beautiful troublemakers, you ride at dawn. From my family to yours, Thank you for your troublemaking, your donations, and your love for our veteran community.